Mark Cuban might be dropping some of that NIL money to help things out here a little bit. This was the first program in Division I football to lose 700 games.
Ouch.
Dang. That's a lot of L's. That is a lot of L's. Now they're in the midst of their second straight 7-0 start. Where do we start handing out the credit, Mark?
Man, you got to give Cignetti the credit. He's been a winning coach everywhere he's been. He recruited me at Alabama. He was assistant at Alabama. Then he goes and bets on himself, and he's been a winner every step of the way. We all been a part of winning locker rooms, winning teams, winning programs. And what's the DNA, what's the fabric of that? That's the culture. He identifies and evaluates the right talent. He gets the right character player in the locker room. He gets the right coaches. He believes in this process. The players believe in the process. The coaches do. More importantly, these fans do. They believe in the Cignetti process, and his process is producing results. And that's why he earned a big payday. He got that new money. That new money.
You talk about culture. Culture to me is like setting the tone of how things are done on and off the field, a level of expectation, a level of standard. I mean, go living in it 24/7. Pete Carroll did that for us at USC. Coach, you certainly had great cultures on all your winning programs. This team is a direct reflection of their coach's personality. The recruiting, you talked about it. They've dominated the portal and what they need for this, right? The fit, the system. He goes out and get guys that fit what they want to do, hard-nosed football players. They have a top 30 class coming in next year. I'm going to be really curious if they start getting some of those 4 or 5-star guys that want to come play here at IU, come play for a winning program. When they start getting those guys, with also the development of how they do it, telling you, watch out for that, man.
This coaching staff, as a coach watching film, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's why, because of staff alignment, continuity, and consistency. This is unheard of, Brady. He's kept his 2 coordinators for 5+ years, and they do the little things right. We're not talking about talent. They have plenty of talent, but so does everyone else. You see them do the little things right. How about this? Fewest turnovers since Cignetti got there in the Big Ten. Fewest big plays against their defense since Cignetti got there. And here's a beautiful thing. Hoosier Nation, your boy just signed a big
new money.
But he also put something in his contract to pay his coaching staff.
Wow.
These coaches, I would lose coordinators every 2 years to become head coaches. When that happens, you start to see cracks a little bit because you have to replace these great coaches. This is a great coaching staff, and now it's a well-paid coaching staff.
Sure. And it's a testament to Curt Cignetti, but also the university at Indiana here, buying into this, allowing them to keep their head coach, keep everything intact. I think the thing that stands out to me the most is there's no more important position than the college quarterback. And he's been able to hit on that everywhere he's been. Going back to his days at JMU, where he's recruiting players who are all-conference players. Last year with Curtis Ward, this year Fernando Mendoza, who's been absolutely outstanding. And he's found the right situation, circumstance to excel, where he's now being talked about as the Heisman favorite right now. He's playing unbelievable, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Curt Cignetti's ability to identify the quarterback to lead his team, to me, has played as much of a role in their success as anything else.
You go back 2 Octobers, this behind us, this didn't exist. This was nowhere to be found. They might have been over there and over there doing some tailgating. Look how fast he went from inside the rock to out here. Oh, that is not Curt Cignetti. Not Curt Cignetti, but I bet he does quite well on Kirkwood Avenue. Calls to play, not Curt Cignetti. Since 2000, Coach Cignetti has the 3rd best record among head coaches with one team. Only our guy, Coach Meyer, did it better. Coach did it twice. One in Salt Lake City, one in Columbus. We had to get 2 different headshots.
Hall of Fame
for Coach on that one.
Coach.
So with that, let's open up Coach's playbook. The 7 years that Urban Meyer coached at Ohio State, of those 7 years, how many times did Indiana have a winning record?
Nathan?
Be careful now.
0.
We're in enemy territory.
Zilch.
Zilch.
No, it's all right. Let's be honest. Indiana was a non-factor in football in the Big Ten. That was then. This is now. How in 20 games under Coach Cignetti have they thrust themselves again into the national title conversation?
You know, Hoosier Nation, I said this last year, and I'll say it again this year. This is one of the best coached teams I've seen in my career. And when I talk about best coached or well-coached, I'm not talking about the 6'4" receiver that jumps over 2 defenders and makes a catch, or that defensive end that beats the offensive tackle. You know what that's called? That's called recruiting. That's called a freak athlete making a play. When I say well-coached, I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about a team that's excellent in fundamentals. You're about to watch one of the best fundamental teams in college football. And here, Mark, they coach the hard things. And what I mean by the hard things, it's not in the backyard playing catch with wide receivers. Football is a dirty, nasty, violent game. Coaches who coach the hard, and that's what you see with Indiana. On offense, for example, ball security is hard to work on that every day. How about perimeter blocking by the receivers? That's not easy. That's the hard. Offensive linemen in space. You're going to see that here in a minute where they're blocking defensive backs. And then how about running backs in pass protection? You got to take on that linebacker at times. That guy's 20 pounds bigger than you. On defense, it's tackling. It's disengaging from blocks. And then on special teams, it's blocking a punt. Let's take a look. Here, Mark, you're going to see the tailback doing what? Blocking the hard. He's got blitz pickup. He's actually scanning all the way back to protect Mendoza, and what results, a big play. This next one's one of my favorites, Brady. Watch the offensive linemen. These are 300-pound dudes getting out in open space. It's 3 for 3. All 3 linemen make their blocks, very rare. And then watch this one. Watch the surge at the offensive line. Again, this is against one of the top teams in America, Oregon. And then finally, near and dear to my heart, All-American corner. Blocks a punt for a touchdown. Now, Mark, here's what's amazing. I want everybody to understand this. The head coach coaches the coaches. He can't coach every player. I think it's much harder to coach the coaches than it is the players. You know why? Players listen. A lot of times these established coaches don't listen because, and one of the great stories here, Cignetti signed a big contract like we talked. Those coordinators been with him for 5 years. I think because they're getting paid now, IU's going to keep this coaching staff for a while, and that's a big plus for IU, obviously.
What you see in that tape, coach, is you see what you do. What people don't understand is, as the position player, you spend more time with your position coach than you do your head coach.
Sure.
So the ability of your head coach to get the message out to the coaches and the coaches be able to get that message to the players. You saw it on the pass protection. Being able to scan back, the offensive line, deciphering the pressure, picking it up. They allowed Mendoza to deliver the pass and be able to go for a touchdown. So the emphasis of you see greatness from the position coaches in that tape. So big kudos to the position coach.
I think the thing that stands out for me when you define well-coached, how you see it as a viewer, as a fan, is how decisive your players are, how fast they play. There's no hesitation. They're confident in their preparation. And that's what you see from Indiana. You don't see a quarterback, or Mendoza in this case, second-guessing himself, double clutching the ball, having happy feet in the pocket. You don't see anyone on defense, waiting for something to display itself. The linebackers shoot their gaps, they penetrate, they make plays. They play very decisive and with confidence.
I think decisiveness and attention to detail, right? Some of the great coaching staffs, they're meticulous in their planning, their organization. Some of the best teams in the country are just the most prepared teams in the country. It doesn't matter about the talent, and that's what this staff has been able to do for the football team.
One of the many reasons they are 7-0 for the second straight season.